15 strange things about Tibet. Women have to sleep with 20 people to get married. Tibet is known as the roof of the world, hidden behind the majestic mountains. The beauty of Tibet is a mystical painting to arouse the curiosity of the adventurous. Set foot on this sacred land, you will see a magnificent view. Breathe the pure fresh air. Tibetans don't just have beautiful scenes, but there's a lot of mystery. The legend of the monster, where polyphony, where the brothers were married. It's all in today's video. 15 strange things about Tibet. No, 15 polygamy brothers married the same wife. Maybe Tibet is the only country in the world. There is also polygamy. Here, they are brothers in a married family. That purpose is the work. Explain for fear. There is a family dispute over land when parents die, so they'll let a girl to be the common wife of brothers. The family cherished this wife and also lived, shared in one roof. The eldest brother, he will be the one to decide in the family, from which the family's land will not be disputed. They will grow together and there are children together. If a girl in the family marry a son in another family, then his brother will swear to marry you. You will be the head of the family. My husband when my mother died. If your brother has to go away, the brother will take his place, worrying in the family. And if the family has a third brother, this person has the right to decide. One is to go to jail. The second is to marry a girl from another family, with conditions. Her family has no more sons. The third is to marry a woman, living together in a family and having children. It's very difficult for a child to distinguish I as the biological father. Usually they'll be referred to as the father. So the custom of marriage, this memory lasts from this life to a low age. Number 14. Tibetan women are not allowed to refuse marriage proposals, even if it's not the one I love. From the purpose of marrying June, to secure the land and sustain the species, for the bride's virginity on the wedding day. It's very important. Even the status of women in Tibet, it's totally foam. They have no voice to protect their lives. Just have a boy come. Any Tibetan girl proposing to me, and this is her first marriage proposal, you have no right to refuse. From the old Tibetan point of view, a woman refused for the first time, it will be veteran, and the darkest in life. However, sometimes there are girls who have a heart, and that lady also wants to marry this girl. They will do whatever it takes to prevent the girl from getting hurt, hands-on, by a family, another military party, in which the plot, film case to circumvent the law or be used more than, the girl will pretend to go to the market, or to visit relatives. Her lover will pretend to be a pervert, and suddenly appear to work depravity. Then my best friends will join me, pretend to pass by and catch at the battle. She then returned to the village and reported the incident. Number 13. Women will have to sleep with 20 people to get married. While a lot of water, people take their virginity very seriously. When getting married, women should, or encouraging relationships with people, it'll help them gain experience in bed. This 6th century marriage doesn't exist. It's in Tibet, an old land, famous for its Buddhist tradition, and the scenic spots of Tibet. The Tibetans decided that it is bad luck to marry a virgin. Body painting procession. That's why girls have to find enough 20 rich men, persuade them to have sex with you. They are eligible to get married. Tibetans think that a woman must have sex with at least 20 men. It is considered attractive. It's easy to say, but it's hard to do, because the West is actually a pretty remote area. So, to find enough 20 men to supplement experience, it's a pretty difficult story. So much. If the girls want to qualify for marriage, have to roam everywhere, to be able to accumulate more experience in bed. Which girl is lucky to meet? I slept with 20 men. They will be married soon. Even more humorous is that after marriage, the new bride, it's even given a medical text, with content intended to acknowledge to that. 12. Foreign travel to Tibet is often restricted. Although Tibet remains closed during Tet, Tibet is usually from January to February, but the area is still open to visitors for the rest of the time, end of year, provided they're on an organized tour, along with the direction of the session. In addition to the initial permit to enter Tibet, people who want to take risks, other discoveries will also require a different license. Before you start sweating, don't worry, we can arrange the journey for you, and the necessary permissions. They help you move easily. Note 11 Bull Jack. It's a symbol of the strength of Tibet's resilience. Mention of Tibet? Then one can't help but remember the image of the reptiles. Huge, majestic. Owns a large and medium body to meters high, weighs 1t. This cow is called the giant cow. With very good health. Cattle are an important source of supplies. It's also a basic need of the people. Cattle are a rich source of food. And its milk is also greasy. Even bones and horns. It's also made into jewelry, hairy, and many other products. It will also be turned into fabric, carpet next to material value. Then, it will also play an important role in your life. Spirit. They're seen as symbols of transcendence, perseverance and courage, with tremendous economic and spiritual value. Reptile. The Tibetan people are very respected and protected, and it's connected to them in everyday life. 10 babies are buried under the glacier. Tibet has an average altitude of over 4,500 meters above sea level. It has an extremely harsh climate. It's cold all year round. This condition itself, it also trained the spirit and the vitality of the people. It's one of those unique traditions. That's the creepy thing about freezing babies. It's customary on my 1-year-old birthday. The child will be carried out by the most prestigious woman in the village, where water melts from the ice. Immerse yourself for a minute. It's not just a regular bathing ritual. It also means a physical exam for the child. If the child passes, then surely it has enough resistance to be able to live in the Tibetan environment. However, the purple baby, and gradually infected, the family will prepare to take care of that, because Tibetans believe that the child did not survive this door of life and death. 9 of the world's scariest mourning rituals. It's also known as a funeral. It's the most unique form of burial. Instead of burying the dead in the ground as usual, the Tibetans carried the body up the mountain. Pray for the channels. The channel has 2 basic and solemn forms. The nomads and the villagers, same secluded, often use the basic canopy. The dead are simply taken to the mountain. Let the vultures find themselves. The second is more complicated. The Lama would pray for the deceased to be placed in private, set for 2 to 4 hours. The body is prayed for, washed and wrapped in a white dress. Finally, they're going to tear down the spine of the body, for the convenience of carrying to the burial site. A close friend, or a family member, you'll have to wear the body on the road. The journey to the cemetery begins early in the morning. The members of the family will accompany to chant for the funeral home. The body of the dead, laid on the stomach of a rock face, and the obasugi are the ones handling this corpse. When you start burning birch trees to make them smell, attract vultures, and start his work with a sharp knife, from hair to organs. Finally, the limbs of the deceased, mind separated, and the limbs of man are thrown to the vultures. The reason behind this ritual is that it comes from the spirit. They believe that when people die, there's only flesh and vultures left, bird eaters. It will be a holy thing, the practice of this ritual. It is considered a noble act to show our dedication to nature and follow the example of the Tathagata Buddha. Besides the spiritual element, the museum also comes from harsh conditions. The burial in a layer of ice, hard rock, is also very difficult and rare. Today, due to the effects of modernization and urbanization, funeral rites are becoming less common. However, it remains in some areas. #8 Tibetans can't grow tea. Surely everyone knows about tea. Delicious and rich. It's a traditional Tibetan drink. Avocado tea is not just a refreshing drink. It is also known as goddess water. In extreme weather conditions, Tibetan Plateau, butter tea plays an important role, helps keep warm and provides essential nutrients. Tibet, in particular, can't grow tea. All products are shipped from India, with an arduous journey of more than 4,000 kilometers, thanks to the Highland route. And it's taken from a legend called the Tea Road, code greeting path. It's not just a freight route, it's also a cultural bridge, trade between regions. Through the ups and downs, this road, it still plays an important role in life. Today, with the development of child traffic, code greeting line is not used for the trip anymore. However, it is still preserved as a precious heritage. No. 7 is inhabited by Snowman City. Tibet has long been covered in mysterious snow and strange stories about the snowman, or city. The legend of the snowman has been around for centuries. It's a place that evokes human curiosity, Lots of evidence and clues. It is believed to be related to snow. Was found in Tibet. These are giant footprints in the snow. Thick patches of hair. Even bodies preserved in ice. But all of this is inconclusive, and there's no scientific confirmation. My faith in snow. It still exists in the minds of Tibetans. They tell stories about the encounter with this giant creature. Expeditions have been organized to find snowmen, but so far there have been no concrete results. Maybe the snowman is just a product of the imagination. It's part of folklore, passed down through generations. But it's also likely to be an organism. It's really hiding in dangerous areas. No matter what the truth is, Tibet, with the majestic and mysterious beauty of the legend, snowman is always an attractive destination. Number 6 is Hosha. It is the holy city, with the mysterious Potala Palace, located in Lhasa. The Potala Palace is a symbol, full of symbols of Tibet. It's a unique architectural masterpiece, used to be the winter residence of the Lamas for 13 centuries. The palace consists of 2 main parts, the White Palace and the Red Palace. It has more than 1,000 rooms, mural treasure, tomb and chapel artwork. Ever since the Dalai Lama turned his face in exile, this palace is UNESCO recognition of World Heritage Radio 1909 for throughout the centuries. This palace, it's not just where the Dalai Lama lives, it's also a training center for Buddhist monks, famous with Su Cave Temple. It is considered as a spiritual site of the region. Here, it attracts tourists from many parts of the world to visit, which means holy land in Tibetan. This place has countless monasteries and majestic temples, attract a lot of customers to occupy, and into this atmosphere. Years of fresh water for almost half of the world's population. Tibet. It's a source of fresh water for almost half the population. Tibet has the 3rd largest amount of fresh water in the world, just 6 Arctic and Antarctic. This is called the 3rd pole, because of its crucial role in water supply. For the rivers, important abundant water resources in Tibet, it's also contributed to the lives of more than 2 billion people, nearly 47% of the population. The river lakes here, like the South Lake, Lake Samdok and Lake Hosha, it's not just a source of life for the locals, it also helps to provide agriculture, activities of many neighboring countries. Special location, it's known as the Water Tower of Asia, contribute to maintaining the ecological balance and environmental protection, a combination of unique cultural and natural values. The importance of water resources has made Tibet a destination. Attract visitors. Visitors are not just looking at the beautiful scenery, but also experience life, being in nature, discover the mysterious land. Number 4. Buddhism is the foundation of Tibetan culture and life. Buddhism plays an important role in Tibetan culture. It's embedded in every aspect of everyday life. The rich spiritual heritage of Buddhism, it's clear through the monasteries, the place of religious study of the monks. These monasteries are not just places of worship, it's also an educational center, medical and art, religious ceremonies including prayer ceremonies, chanting and meditation. It's a 1% missing in people's spiritual lives. The influence of Buddhism. It is seen in knowledge, art and literature, recreating the colorful CA paintings. Belief in Buddhism. Give the people peace. I hope life is challenging. They seek comforting guidance from the Buddha's teachings. They believe that reincarnation will give them ultimate enlightenment, a close union of Buddhism and Tibetan culture, to create a unique identity. It attracts visitors and people interested in spirituality from all over the world. Traveling to Tibet is not just about discovering beautiful places, it's also an experience in culture, rich and deep. 3 stories of the reincarnation of the Dalai Lama. The Dalai Lama is considered the leader, spirit and politics, respected all over the world. The name Dalai Lama comes from the Mongolian language, Reach Lay. It means ocean, and the Tibetan word is Lama. It means talented teacher. Since the time, Master is Kendo Dropa born 1300 ripening 14075. The next Dalai Lama was developed as a child, and after she died, she left some creatures behind. Some disciples came to the reincarnation. According to Tibetan Buddhist beliefs, the Dalai Lama is the reincarnation of the Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, current 14th Dalai Lama Tenzin Gyatso, the rightful successor. He was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 1900. Unremitting efforts for the peaceful struggle. His life and philosophy, it has inspired millions of people. Will be a sacred and unique ritual. When they find it, the child will be brought back and undergo a rigorous Buddhist education. Tradition determines the next Dalai Lama to prepare for a leadership role. The spirit of succession, it's a testament to faith, the depth of the Tibetan people, and inspire the event into rebirth. Give hope for the future. This image with a gentle smile, His eyes were filled with death, has become a symbol for the spirit of the Tibetan people. You are a lighthouse, illuminating the spiritual path of millions of people. Most of the temples, monasteries in Tibet are all built on mountains. Most of the temples, monasteries here are all built on high mountains. The reason this comes from spiritual beliefs. They believe that the mountain is the home of the gods. It is the most sacred place to pray and worship. The construction of the temple on the mountain show respect for the gods and a desire to connect with them. Beyond the location of Tibet's common era, provide the part that makes it unique, harsh climate, so that when the danger force people to use materials like wood and clay. The architecture of the temple will also have awnings, thick wall slope, and small windows to withstand the cold. Next to architecture, the temple is also a spiritual cultural center where religious ceremonies take place. Education is a 1/0th, missing in a cultural picture of the world. Spirit, which not only attracts visitors by its unique beauty, but also an atmosphere of serenity as well as sacredness, help people find peace. Number 1. Barley is the main food of Tibetans. Tibetan barley is a kind of food, the main food in the highlands. This plant play an important role in life. Tibetan barley has extraordinary adaptability. Trees can grow at altitudes from 3,000 to 5,000 meters. Tibetan barley is a rich source of protein, fiber, vitamins and minerals. This nut contains a lot of lisa, an essential amino acid for the body. Tibetan barley is a key ingredient. It's a part of traditional food. Barley is used as a symbol of abundance, luck and longevity. This tree, it is often used in religious ceremonies. Today the Tibetan government it's also being preserved and developed to study new varieties to improve farming techniques. Tibetan barley play an important role in life, spiritual and material species. This plant is not just a food source, it's also a symbol of culture. That is, we've discovered 15 strange things about Tibet. Do you want to come here to experience it or not? And what subject do you want me to work on? Remember to comment. And now hello and see you.